So welcome, welcome. Hiya. I'm kind of seeing you on a screen over here, but I know you're looking at me here. Hello, hello. So we're going to start with sitting. Get the prana moving. I've been teaching the 8 a.m. classes, since last year. So this has been a very spacious morning. I'm really, lovely to practice with you this week. Mary's just off this week. She'll be back next week. And I was with the kind of auspicious Aquarian new moon. I love that Mary brings all of that into her classes, and I'm teaching these shorter classes, so it's harder to kind of, I guess, just bring that in sometimes. I'm Aquarius, and it's a big year. Aquarian planets all coming in, and I guess they'd say, Aquarius, the air element, as the nature is showing us. But it's adaptability and change, and it's like we're getting a chance this year. I've been listening to a lot of the astrology, thinkers, and I really like, there's a really lovely Californian astrologer I love called Richard Tarnas, and he talks about astrology really being the planet and us becoming aware of ourselves, so that it's you becoming aware of yourself, but the world soul becoming aware of itself, and it taps us into the world soul, or Gaia. And he's a lovely way of saying that nothing that's happening inside you will be wasted. What's happening inside you is a reflection of what's happening inside the planet, and what the planet is trying to do, and what everybody's trying to do, all that we're trying to be aware of. And the kind of the way they've framed, the last year and this year, is that last year introduced us to ways in ourselves that we need to grow and change and innovate, and the seeds of that are in us now. And we're getting a chance with all these big Aquarian planets, pioneering, innovative, change, disruptors, just ways to do things differently, this year. So the seeds that are in us now at this early February time, this early spring energy, they're little tender shoots of ideas. They're little tender seeds of the ways we're coming into being. And so maybe you could focus on them now in this energy of this new moon, because we get to water them and tend them. And there's a nice Venus aspect today that just allows a little bit of kindness around that. I know for me, I've been, I'm one of those like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing this, why am I quicker at making that happen? And there's quite a few things actually that are happening, bigger things in my life, that are taking time, and I keep waiting for them to kind of click into gear, and it's just taking its time. So if that's happening for you, just honoring those, that we all have little places in our lives that we're growing and changing. Hopefully, bits of our life are stable enough to hold that change. It can be very destabilizing when everything is in growth and change. So we might take a minute to just sit and reflect. Just see what comes up. It's just opening up to the seeds of newness within you, the ways you want to innovate in your lives, the way you want to be true, and maybe take a little bit of a radical step, which is an Aquarian thing, towards change, towards positive change in your life. And the ways, those little shoots of ideas and growth that are already there. So we'll sit with the breath for a few minutes, and then we'll do a little bit of pranayama to get the prana moving. I'm just going to check that everyone's on mute. I just kind of heard a little background sound, and I know that's a little bit louder for you if there is. So I'll just check everyone's muted. Yeah. Great. So let's close the eyes. bring your mind into your senses. Notice what your body is listening to. Feeling, sensing. Feel the temperature of the air in your skin. So you allow all the sounds around you to be there. Notice the life, the motion, the aliveness of nature, perhaps, of traffic, of sounds in your building. Feel the life, the prana that's there. And as you feel the movement of the breath in your body and hear your own breath, that is that energy of aliveness. Pure prana that's in you, around you. Feel your seat, your hips, where they're resting. And invite your belly to soften and your hips to feel heavy. Feel where your legs contact the earth. Feel into the earth below you. Can you soften the belly and just make the hips heavy to feel the apana vayu? So let's stay rooted and grounded as we feel into the air element. Connect to the deep darkness of that earth below you. Feel its stability, feel its support. And then you could push your hips into your seat. So you root down to rise up through your spine. Feel your chest lifted, crown of the head tall, and the lightness of the upper energy centers. The heart at the center. The movement of the breath. Feel the waves of breath washing in and filling and revitalizing your system, washing out, relaxing you back to your center, cleared, flushed, cleared from tension and toxins. Inhaling, filling up, exhaling, releasing, letting go. Feel the solar plexus, the lower ribs relax as you breathe into the lower lungs, and fill the breath up through the chest. Exhaling, releasing from the chest to the ribs, to the solar plexus and lower lungs. Inhaling, filling from the bottom up to the top, making inner space. Exhaling from the top to the bottom. Inhale, filling from the bottom to the top. Exhaling from the top to the bottom. So create space with your breath, inner space. Space for the organs, massaging the nervous system. Room for the prana. On your next exhalation, just relax that pattern of breathing, and we're going to move into our Kapalabhati sequence, where we pump 40 short, sharp exhales from the abdominal area. We take a big inhale, and then we exhale lion's breath. And I usually lean forward, which really empties out the lower lungs. At the end of lion's breath, you're holding out that exhalation and engaging Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor. They say it's right in at the cervix for women. The lower belly, Uddiyana Bandha, held lightly up and back. And Jalandhara Bandha, the chin into the jugular notch if your neck is healthy, or I just drop my chin down a little bit with neck issues. So starting with our 40 short, sharp exhales at a pace that's sustainable for you, so you don't have to keep time with me. Take a deep breath in. Exhales. Inhaling, lion's breath, Mula, Uddiyana and Jalandhara Bandha on exhalation retention. Taking your inhale as you need it. Smooth inhale. If you hold too long, it can be a bit jerky. Notice the movement, the spreading of prana. A gentle glow. Let's do a second round. So 40 short, sharp exhales. Inhaling, lion's breath. All three bandhas on Avaya Kambaka. Exhalation, retention. Feeling the radiance of pranic glow. And do 2 more rounds. So inhaling and then short, sharp exhales. Inhaling, lion's breath. Bandha Triyam, Anavaya Kambaka. Feeling that radiance of pranic glow. It's like a gentle fizzing in your system, gentle aliveness through the cells. We do our final round of that Kapalabhati sequence now. So 40 short, sharp exhales. Inhaling, lion's breath. Mula Uddiyana and Jalandhara Bandha, Anavaya Kambaka. Basking in that ocean of pranic radiance. And then relaxing just your hands down by your side. We move the prana into the Vijnanamaya kosha, the circulatory system, just bringing the prana up and around you into the more subtle realms of ourself. So arms by the side and inhaling, bringing the arms wide and up overhead, and then exhale the hands down through your center line. Inhale, arms wide and up. We're stretching the shoulders, bringing the prana around us into our space. Exhaling down. Inhale. Go as slow as you can. Try and keep a slow, steady, mindful breath. Two more. Good. Then interlink the hands in front. Stretch the palms forward and just breathing into the back as you round out the back. Then releasing the hands, exhale the hands behind your back. Lengthen the knuckles down, draw the upper arms together, lift the chest and chin. And release. Let's come to sitting on the floor with the feet in front, and we'll do a little side stretch. So bend up your knees, bring your right hand to the floor beside you, stretch up with the left hand and just lean to the side. And then inhale up, exhale down, inhale right hand up and exhaling. Good, inhale up, exhale it down, bring the left hand over to the right knee, little twist, lifting, feeling your upper back, really lift your chest from behind. Exhaling, releasing, other side, lift and twist. And exhaling, releasing. Great. Come over onto all fours and let's breathe a little bit of that cat-cow breath. Spreading into your fingers, knees and feet hip width. On the inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. On the exhale, round the back, chin in. Inhale, tailbone goes up, belly drops, chest lifts. Exhale, tailbone tucks, navel to spine, chin in. Follow undulations with your breath. Really inhabit your body from the inside. Let it move a little bit more organically. You could swish your tail, release your shoulders, release your neck, your jaw. Do a little side stretch. So bring the big toes together and the knees a little bit apart. And it's like child's pose, but you're sitting towards the right heel and walk your hands to the left. Let your head just rest on the inside of that right arm. So you feel a stretch in the right hip, connecting to the earth. If today wasn't a good demonstration of how important it is to stay rooted and grounded with the air element. It looks like things are going to be lifted up by their roots out there. So hug the earth. Inhale, slowly come up. Walk the hands over to the right, sit towards the left heel. Length through the back, through the hips. And then inhale forward, back to all fours. We're going to do a little side stretch. So flip your right foot out to the side. Keep your right knee exactly as it is and just flip the foot out to the side. Then you're stepping the left foot back in line with the right knee and the right wrist. Make sure the left foot is flat. Left hand to your hip. I'm going to turn this way so you can see me. Left hand to your hip, and then bring your hips more forward and lift your chin and feel the stretch between the pubic bone and the sternum. So we're really opening up the front body. Let's bring the left arm up and over the ear. Breathing in that blustery day, looking up for balance. Anytime we look up in yoga, we're reprogramming the muscles and creating more balance as the proprioception, the nervous system, has to work to orientate. So that could be a key for today. Just see when you're able to look up, notice when you're wobbly, and look towards the earth for stability and feel the difference. So from here, we're going to bring the top left arm to touch the left knee in front. So bring it in front, make a fist. And then exhale, bring the foot out and the arm out and keep the foot hovering, the leg hovering. And again, elbow to knee and then out to the side. Elbow to knee, and this time foot and hand in front. So do wave in front, there you go. And then knee to elbow, out to the side. And knee to elbow and in front. And knee to elbow and to the side. And we're going to come down now. Left foot to the floor, left knee to the floor, flip your left foot out, step your right foot back, right hand to your hip, lift your chin, get the stretch across the front body, hips forward. Check your knees under your hip. I often would see a bit of this in class, so just check you're in good alignment and that back right foot is nice and grounded. Then bring the right arm over the ear and feel the stretch up through that whole right side. Lift your chin, look up at that top hand. And then bringing the right elbow to touch the right knee and stretching it out, hovering. Elbow to knee and hover. Elbow to knee and foot and hand in front. And elbow to knee and to the side. Elbow to knee and in front. And elbow to knee and to the side. Great. Back down to all fours. Knees and feet hip width, spreading into your toes. Sit into your heels with the toes tucked. I always like to just warm up the soles of my feet for that downward dog, warming up the toes, checking that the elbows are soft, the heart is lifted, and we get a nice arch in the lower back to set us up. Inhale yourself forward and exhale hips up and back, downward dog. Lengthen the hips up. You might do a little step from foot to foot. Warming up the back of the legs, release out the neck. Walk the feet together for balance now. Let the big toes touch. And we're going to bring the right leg up in the air. Keep the lower belly drawn in. So we're hip squared first, and then turn the right hip and knee out to the side. Bend the right knee. Squeeze the right heel towards the left buttock. Point your knee to the ceiling. And we're going to bring the knee all the way forward to touch the right elbow. Round the back, draw your navel up and stretch it up and back. Bring the knee across to the left elbow and up and back. Bring your knee to your forehead in the center and exhale up and back. Good. Right foot to the floor. Left leg up and back. Squared legs, squared hips first. Get those core muscles, then open the hip to the side. Squeeze the heel towards the right buttock, bending the knee, pointing the knee as high as it'll go. And then left knee to left elbow and up and back. Left knee across to the right elbow, up and back. Knee to forehead, round the back, up and back. And left foot to the floor. Downward dog, and we're going to walk the feet up behind the wrists. Hold the elbows in that deep forward fold. You could bend your knees and let your belly rest on your thighs. Let the neck go. We're going to roll it slowly, slowly, slowly up to standing. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Come towards the top of the mat. Spreading into the toes, externally rotate the arms. I can feel like my head's a bit chopped, is it, the screen? Just about, okay. So spreading into the toes, externally rotating the upper arms as you lengthen through the crown of the head. I'm going to tilt this a little bit. In this dynamic, alive Tadasana. So feel that rooting and feel the dynamic aliveness in your body. There's a readiness. Feel the prana. And then inhale, let's stretch the arms wide and reach up. I'm going to open the hips. As we exhale, fold forward. Let the hands rest on the floor or on your legs. Inhale, lift the chest straight back. Exhale, fingers to the floor. Take your right foot up in the air like a standing splits and then step it back. Long, low lunge, and then right knee to the floor. Stretch the arms forward and up. Keep the left heel drawing back, the right knee drawing forward. Good. Bring the hands onto the back and just draw the upper arms towards each other. Now really lengthen your tailbone and draw your lower belly up. Lean back. Keep the tailbone long. We don't want to feel this in the lower back at all. Really opening the heart, opening the front body. Reaching up, one more breath, and then exhale, hands down and left foot back to downward facing dog. 3 good breaths here. Spread into your fingers and spread into your toes. Track your knees, usually a little ½ inch out over the toes with the knees. So you feel the hips, you feel the lower belly and pelvic floor, and lift those hips up off your waist, up off your thighs. Relax your neck. And we're going to exhale now, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Onto the floor, tops of the feet down. Find that low cobra position. So make your legs so strong the knees float up. The belly draws up and the upper back engages. Lift your elbows out to the sides. You're doing cactusy arms with the chest lifted. You really feel those back body muscles, but keep your belly drawing up away from the floor. It's kind of, you can get into a habit of pushing your belly into the ground in this. Great. Exhale the arms back and squeeze them in. You might lift up a little more. Exhale, hands to the floor. Tuck your toes, downward dog. Stepping the right foot forward here, leaning on the left hand, take your right hand to your knee and then reach it up. And again, try looking up at the top thumb. Go easy on the necks, obviously. You could look to the side. Exhale, right hand down, left foot forward, folding in. Inhale, arms wide, reach up. And exhaling, hands down. Find your breath. So we want the rooting, but the opening and the flexibility for the movement and change. So on the inhale now, lifting the arms up. Exhale, wide arms. So feel the expansiveness growing through your body. Relax your neck and head. Inhale, lift the chest. Try and reach new lengths in the body. Exhale, hands to the floor. Left foot lifts up and stretch it back. Left knee to the floor. Bring the arms forward and up, or out to the side and up. Drop your hips forward, but keep the stability through the lower belly, through the right heel drawing back, and the idea of the left knee drawing forward, so there's a lift up through the base. Exhale the hands behind your back, onto your back, and draw the upper arms in. Careful not to dump into the lower back. You have to really react by pulling in the front belly. Notice where you need to create stability when we create opening. Inhale, reach up now. Exhale, hands down, right foot back. So we need stability in yoga, usually below. So you look at stability in the hands creates opening, and the feet creates opening in the pelvis, the lower back, more of a lift up. Everything needs a firm and stable base so it can be rooted and then grow safely into new expression. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Tops of the feet on the floor. Strong legs, buttocks, lower belly. Find the upper back muscles. Lift the arms. Float the elbows. Again, if you feel anything in your lower back, maybe bring the hands down and go lower. Reach the arms back behind you. And then we're going to bring the left arm forward as the right arm stretches back. Good. Anchor through your tailbone and lower belly, back to cactusy in the middle, and then right arm forward, left arm back. Cactusy in the middle, left arm forward, right arm back, and the cactus. And lift, and right arm forward, left arm back. And back to the middle. Good, hands to the floor, tuck your toes, downward dog. The exhalation gets us strong in the belly and the hip. Then step the left foot forward, lean on your right hand, turn towards your left knee, left arm up, look up if that's okay with your neck. Keep the right leg strong and straight, the left hip drawing back. The left hip wants to stick out, so can you draw it back? Keep the left waist long. And now exhale, left hand down, right foot forward, folding in. Inhale, wide arms and reach up. And exhaling, hands down. Good. So as you stand in Tadasana, feel the prana you're creating through your system. We're in a version of Surya Namaskara B. So have the room to step back. Inhale, bend the knees and find Utkatasana. Exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the chest, heart lifting. Exhale, hands to the floor, step your 2 feet back to plank. So lengthening through the crown of the head. In plank, let's just bring the right knee to the right elbow and then back, left knee to left elbow and back. One more time, right knee to right elbow. Keep the hips up now, left knee to left elbow, and then we're lowering, so you might do knees first, chest and chin. Place your hands by your lower ribs now. Draw the upper arms in towards each other. So find the low cobra, and then if you want to use your arms and do full upward dog, go for that. Exhale, roller step over the toes, downward dog. Turning the left heel in, step the right foot forward. Come up, warrior one. So hip squared, draw the right hip back, roll the left thigh forward, lengthen through the tailbone, Belly draws up, chest lifts. Inhale the arms up. Root it down as you reach up. Soften the tops of the shoulders. Feel that gesture of opening, of receiving, of offering as you look up through your hands, expectant, grateful. And then hands together to the heart. Spread into the sole of the right foot. Let's lean into the right foot and draw the left knee up to the chest. Keep the left foot super bright. Don't worry, if you lose your balance, just come back to it. We're going to tilt the upper body forward, squeeze the left heel in and stretch then the left leg back to a warrior three. Hold it. Hold it. Keep the hands at the heart. And then bend the right knee and left foot to the floor. Stretch the arms up, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the floor. Right foot back to plank. Lowering to the floor, or you could do a chaturanga, an upward dog. Low cobra now, or place the hands by the ribs and do upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. Turn the right heel in, step the left foot forward. Reach up. Look up between the hands. You're rooted in that back leg is key. Creating space to bend the front knee. Find the qualities in your heart of opening, expectation, trust, welcoming. Exhaling, bring the hands to the heart. Spread into the left foot. Draw the right knee up to your heart, up to your chest. Bright foot. Heart stays lifted, work to stay tall and rooted. And then tilt the upper body forward, squeeze the right heel in, stretch it back, find the warrior three. And then bend the left knee, right foot to the floor. Stretch the arms up for a breath. Exhaling, hands down, left foot back to plank. Take your vinyasa now, whatever you're working with. Find your way back to downward facing dog. So just to get a little extra stretch in the hips before we move to the side of the mat, step your right foot now up to as close to the right little finger as it'll go, and lengthen through the chest. So I want you to feel the nice long spine here, and try and draw the right hip back so that the hips are going to stay super stable. We're just going to move the legs to stretch the hips. So we're trying not to move the lower back or hips. Bring the right foot back and step the left foot forward to the little finger. See if you can do this without moving the back, moving the shoulders, and just move the legs. Left foot back, right foot forward. Right back, left forward. You have to use the core, you have to use the hips. Left foot back, right foot forward. Right back, left forward. Now, let's do two more each side, but see if you can hop it. So you're literally just stepping left back, right forward. Right back, left forward. One more time each side, or step it. And then back, downward dog. So from downward dog, we're going to come to the long edge of the mat. So for me, I'm going to step my left foot forward, and I'm going to turn to the side. So whatever way you're working there, just so you can be faced in the right direction. Two hands are on the floor, the knees might be bent, feet are parallel. Relax the neck. We're going to walk the hands over to the right leg now. So you could turn the right toes out a little bit, and sitting in down into the right heel, let the right heel lift up, and see if you can lift the left toes up. Turn the left toes upwards. So we're getting a nice stretch to the side. So Skandasana, is what they call this. And see if you can just smoothly walk over to the other side and try and keep your hips as low as you can. Just see how you go. So you're keeping your hips low, left heel lifts and right toes lift. Look back at the right toes. Other side, keep the hips as low as you can. And back to the left foot. Try it without hands. So you could do like crouching tiger, hidden dragon, your hands down, and then walk it over. So a bit of balance, bit of flexibility, bit of rootedness. Might put the back foot down, the toes up is hard. Okay, one more time. And then down. It's funny, it's like easy on one side and then really hard to balance on the other. And then back to center, just straighten into your legs and just heel toe the feet so that we're in a squat. Bring the feet into about mat width apart. Now, you might be sitting on the floor here, you might be sitting on a brick. You don't want to be in that halfway up position, it's too much on the knees. So pop a brick under your bum or sit on the floor. Get the elbows against the inner knees and lift the chest up. So ultimate really in the rooted poses, finding the flexibility here in the hips, the ankles, the knees, trying to lengthen through the lower back. Heart lifting. Great, and then hands to the floor. Straighten into the legs, let the feet go parallel, relax the head down. Roll yourself slowly up to standing. We're going to go wide legs with the feet, and we're going to go from Parsvakonasana into a Trikonasana just to get a side stretch for the hips here. So bend into the right knee. Inhale the arms up to that warrior two position. Bring the right hand down to the inner ankle, left arm straight up in the air. And look up at that top thumb. Now see about straightening the right leg. If it puts too much pressure on the knee or you feel a bit wide with your stance, just hop the back foot in an inch or two. And you've got the right leg straight and you're looking up if possible. Focus on your thighs, your belly, your buttocks. That's usually where we need the stability. Good, then bend the right knee, inhale yourself to come up. Pivot the feet around, right toes in, left foot to the back of the mat. Bending now into the left knee. Bring the left hand out and down. Grab the ankle, grab the calf. Or you could do forearm to the knee if that's better for you. Look up at the top hand. See about straightening into that left leg. So you might look down as you reconfigure into this straight leg. Step the back foot closer. If you need it, focus on the thighs, kneecaps lift. Wide leg Trikonasana. Creating a bit more flexibility, and it's not as stable a base because the legs are wider. So you have to work more in the balance, more in the leg muscles, and it's more opening potentially in the upper body. Good, now bend the left knee. Inhale, come back up, warrior two. Exhale, straighten that left leg. Hands to your hips and feet parallel. Just step the feet closer together. Bring the big toes together to touch, hands in prayer at the heart. And just squeeze those inner thighs in towards each other. Look at the spot on the floor in front of you. And you're really balanced on, a small base. And just see what happens if you close your eyes there. You feel the proprioception, so you feel the wobbling. And without the visual reference, you're leaving it all up to the inner muscles and the nervous system. Notice if you're turning a bit. I always feel like I'm turning a bit more to the left. It can be to do with your pelvis, can be to do with the back. Notice any differences between your left and right side. So this is settling yourself in a storm. Settling yourself with the winds of change. Finding your center in the dark. Notice the quiet listening inwards. The quiet attunement to yourself. Open, just open, shining a torchlight for any sensory information, any inner information. The mind quiet to everything else, except this moment, this balance, your body. So much life, so much adaptability, so much presence, adjusting the muscles in the moment. We're going to slowly open the eyes towards the floor. Take the feet back about mat width as we go down through to the floor through our squat. So turn your toes out. Just notice quiet center within as you bend the knees and drop yourself down again. And again, maybe onto the floor. And notice, I know I'm hips, knees, everything a little bit more open the second time. The system quieter, more internally referred. Lengthening up through the waist, broad across the collarbones as much as you can. You're trying to lift the insteps, the inner legs, drop the knees falling in, trying to lengthen the lower back. You can do all of this sitting on the floor, sitting on a block, same stretch. Just takes the pressure off the ankles or knees. And then we're going to lower to the floor. So carefully, maybe use your hands, bring the feet in front. We'll do a little Navasana before we do some seated poses. So hands at the backs of your knees. Lift the lower back and lift your chest, like I'm really lifting you from the front sternum. And then see about your feet. So they might come up a little bit, or they might go up a lot. You want to feel it in the front and not in your back. Let the arms come out. If you're worried about your back, keep your feet in the floor and work to keep the chest nice and lifted. Heart lifting. Finding that balance, strength, focus, openness. Lifting. 3, 2, 1. Slowly feet to the floor, stretch your legs out. We're going to come into Ardha Matsyendrasana, seated twist. So you might get a brick or a blanket. I'm going to go for a flat blanket like that. I usually start with 2 bent knees and bringing now the left foot underneath the right thigh. So my foot goes into a half lotus. And then the right foot could step to the inside of the left knee, just across. And just notice your 2 sitting bones, nice and rooted. If you bring the foot to the outside of the knee, that right sitting bone is likely to go up. If it does, you need to lift both sitting bones. In fact, you need to lift the left sitting bone more than the right. You don't want to prop the right to skew the hips even further. So just see where you want to be. Rooted through the sitting bones, important. The waist, the chest, and the spine, nice and even and lifted. Hug with your 2 hands to your knee, and then taking the left hand onto the knee, the right hand goes behind your back. You're looking to the side now. Lifting again through the center line, exhaling, twisting. You might hug the knee a bit deeper, you might bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. Just see where you want to be. And close your eyes again. Find that center line. Find Sushumna, Nadi, central channel of prana through the system. You lengthen up, exhaling, twisting into the spaces in the vertebrae. Feel the belly, digestive organs twisting. It's mainly from the navel upwards, the chest, the shoulders, then the neck and head. Stay present to your body through your breath. Then inhale tall, exhale, release back to the front. Switch it out, step your right foot a bit back to the right, left foot comes out, right foot under the left thigh, left foot to the inner knee or even to the outer knee. But keep the 2 sitting bones nice and grounded. Hands to the knees as you lift, the left knee as you lift through the chest and get the spine nice and tall. And then you're hugging with your right hand and the left hand is behind your back. Lifting and twisting. Close the eyes, feel the center line. You're coming into your center. It's the oldest physical part of yourself, the very first part of you that was formed as your body was made. It's like you're giving yourself a deep inner hug as you wrap the nervous system and muscles. Stay present through the breath. Then inhaling, exhaling, release. And release out the legs. Do a little, what do you call that? Release, a little shake for the legs. Okay. So we're going to do Janushirshasana and Parigasana. So you're going to bend up the right knee and drop the right knee out to the side. Let me mirror you. Okay, so I'm pressing the right foot against the inner thigh. Now we're going forward, so you might even go something a little higher than whatever you were sitting on for the twist. So as you squeeze the foot against the inner thigh, it creates a gathering of tension in the body, in the legs and in the hips. And then as you exhale, it releases tension, and it releases even deeply held patterned tension. So you might go a little bit forward. So really relax those arms and shoulders. Have no destination in mind. Let's stay present, but stay present through the squeezing of the foot against the inner thigh as you inhale. And then as you exhale, think of both thighs finding more contact with the earth. And then the upper body just relaxing down. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, releasing. So stay with the breath. You can make it more of a micro movement now. Gentle squeezing, gentle releasing. And just feel welcomed by the earth. Feel like there's a hug, there's a gravitational pull. Like you're trying to get as much of those legs in contact with the earth as you can. Feel the nervous system just settling. That vata energy, air energy, just getting grounded through the earth. And then let's slowly roll it up. Draw that right knee in, stretch the right leg out, bend up the left knee, and drop the left knee to the side. Good. Squeeze the left foot against the inner thigh, arms and shoulders relaxed and fluid. Just out to the side. If you put the hands in on the legs, you're going to collapse the chest a little bit too, easier. So nice and wide to the side. Squeeze the right foot against the inner left thigh and exhale, release. Squeeze again. Make them big squeezes for these first 3 breaths. Exhale, release. Squeeze again. Do you notice yourself dropping forward? Exhale, release. And then it might be more micro movements, just staying with the breath. Keep softening the shoulders, softening the back of the heart. And then lifting through the chest on the inhale, drawing yourself back up as you exhale. Left knee in, straighten out the left leg, release through the feet. Let's do wide legs, so stretching out to the side, toes face up, knees face up. I'm at a right angle, so if you're super flexible, you tend to go a bit too wide. Keep it at a right angle so you can find some contact with the outer hips. 2 hands to the center, inhale, exhale forward. Root down with the legs to lengthen with the spine. Keep the legs active, keep the heels pressing away. Keep, if you can, pushing the hips into the ground to lengthen the lower back and draw the navel forward. So see if you can really get that action. Lifting the chest, walk the hands back in, and we do Parigasana. So we're going to bend the right leg in and bring the foot to just at the back of the thigh. So you might adjust what you're sitting on now. My blanket's a bit wide, So I'm going to go for a narrower seat, and you want the two sitting bones to feel supported. You want the big toe, to be right in underneath your bum, and sitting up on a height will protect the knee as well, because we don't want kind of that angle where the foot is out to the side and the knee is really rolling inwards. It just puts too much pressure on the anterior cruciate ligament as well, on the inside, the medial side as well. So feel like you're externally rotating that bent thigh. If you do have knee issues, stay with the two wide legs, or you could put the foot in this way, okay? We're bringing our body out over this long left leg now. So two hands are two sitting bones, nice and balanced. We're going to walk the left hand out through the inner left leg. Yeah, I'm bending this right knee. Have I mirrored you? I'm not mirroring you, so is it the bent knee is right? Okay. Long leg, the hand down the inner long leg, and put your other hand to your hip as you open your chest, and you might grab the instep and stretch your top arm over your ear. But I would keep the hand on the hip and one hand on the ground and use it to open the chest more towards the ceiling as you lengthen out over that long leg. Try not to lose the bottom sitting bone, the right sitting bone. I've got my right knee bent, so I'll qualify that. A little check, see what legs people are on. Breathing. Yeah. Great, then exhale, drop your chest to the floor, walk the hands back to center and up to sitting. Straighten out the right leg and bend in the left leg. So you're kind of keeping that shape of the right angle between the thighs. And then you're walking your right hand out to the inside of the long right leg, left hand to your hip, roll the chest open, use the right hand to press into the floor. You can sometimes put the right hand even behind your back if you need to create more space for the chest to open and lift. And then left arm stretches over the ear or keep it on the hip. And try not to lose too much contact with that left sitting bone. Stretch the left sitting bone down to lengthen the waist. Try the gaze upwards. Exhale, drop your hand to the floor, walk the hands back to center. Hands draw in as you sit up and straighten out that left leg. Good. To release out the back, you could just go forward for a couple of breaths. And then walking the hands back in, and then crossing the legs, Sukhasana. So we're going to come onto our backs or onto the floor. This could be a good time if you're used to practicing headstand in your practice, or if there's an arm supported balance that you want to do, like legs, half handstand. But we will come onto the back and we'll do a supported shoulder stand, or you might want to do a full shoulder stand. Inversions would be a great thing to do today, but I would really urge you to pick an inversion that you feel stable in, that your base feels really, really stable in. So we're going to do a supported shoulder stand with, if you have a brick, great. If you have a blanket, just fold up the blanket to the kind of highest edge you can get it to, or the highest height, so you could roll it up. I'm going to use the brick, and you want the sacrum to be on the very top of it. So it's not just about getting it under, it's about making sure you can keep the lower back flat on it. So you might go on the second highest edge rather than on the highest edge, which you might use the highest edge in a supported back bend, but maybe not in a supported shoulder stand. Okay, so just have that beside you. We're going to do the back bend, a little bridge pose first. If you wanted to do a headstand, you could do that now and join us in this. So we're going to come onto the back, bend up the knees. Let's do our bridge first, which gets nice stretch through the front body, and it gets the imprint that we want, the back bend lift that we want in our supported shoulder stand. So preparing and warming up the spine for that. So just grateful for the contact with the earth here. Feet flat, legs parallel. Externally rotate the upper arms. Feel the belly soft. Grounded through the feet, thighs parallel. Now inhale and peel your spine up, hips, waist, ribs, chest. Draw the upper arms more under, towards each other behind your back. You might clasp your hands. Lift your hips, keep the thighs parallel, keep the feet parallel. So you need to hug those outer hips in to keep that action. The center of the back of the head is on the floor. The throat is soft and open. Back of the neck is lifted. Exhaling, slowly release the hips to the floor, and then getting ready to take your brick or your blanket to lift your hips. And remember, if you've colds, eye infections, if it's your time of the month, you mightn't lift your hips up. You might leave out the inversion or do legs up the wall, keeping your hips on the ground. But getting that brick in, make sure it's on the sacrum, the fetal lift, which is just below the waist. And just above the tailbone. And then feet up in the air. And I want you to make your feet nice and active, to glue the inner legs in towards each other, to spread your toes and press the balls of the feet up towards the ceiling. So when we put our feet in this balance between a flex and a point, you're getting engagement in the front legs and the back legs. Whereas if we just stretch the heels up, we're only getting engagement or a stretch in the back of the legs, but we're only getting engagement in the front of the legs. So squeeze the inner legs, spread your toes, lift your chest, breathing here as you bathe in the prana that flows back to the heart and the brain in the inverted poses. Keep activating the legs. You're really flushing the legs, bringing fresh blood, fresh prana. And if you keep them nice and bright and activated, feel the spaciousness in the chest as the heart relaxes, the quietness of your mind as your brain is bathed, and the big glands of the pituitary, the pineal, thymus, thyroid. And then let's slowly release the feet. Take out the supporting block or blanket. Hug your knees in. And we'll do a little twist before we come into Shavasana. So just hips to the left, knees to the right. Turning your head in the opposite direction. Find the breath, and with each exhalation just settling towards the earth. And then bring the knees back to center, hips to the right, knees to the left. And then knees back to center and stretching the legs out as you come into Shavasana. Settling your body. You might support the knees, put a little blanket over you. And really let the earth settle your system. Release your body, quieten and relax, and let all the healing energy, all the prana that you've created in your practice now, let it circulate to every muscle, to every cell. Feel the forehead grow smooth and spacious. Feel the eyes deepen in their sockets, downwards, inwards. Feel the jaw relax, the neck and throat. Your shoulders, arms and hands relaxing. Fingers. The whole chest relaxing. The deep ocean of your belly, deeply relaxed. In the back, each of the vertebrae of your spine, from the neck, upper back, middle back and lower back relaxing. The buttocks melting, the hips, groin and thighs relaxing. The knees, calves, shins and ankles relaxing. The tops of your feet and your toes relaxing. And the soles of your feet and your heels. The whole body relaxed, completely relaxed. slowly now bring your awareness back to your body, back to your room. Deepening your breath, feeling sensation come back, little movements, maybe bigger stretches. And then bending your knees, rolling to your side. Staying connected through your breath, through that deepest sense of yourself. That infinite still center, your heart space. As you slowly come up to sitting, bringing the hands in prayer to your heart. And let's just chant a single Om to complete the practice today. So we inhale. Om. Blessings on each of us for all the seeds of new growth in our lives, all the new ways we're growing to express ourselves in the world. And as we feel love and kindness and care for ourselves, let that fill up in our system so we express that into our relationships and into the world around us. So thank you. Namaste. Thank you. Lovely to do this class today with you. So have a lovely couple of days, weekend, and Mary will be back next week. And see you soon.
Thanks very much, Ciara. That was gorgeous.
You're so welcome.
Ciara.
Lovely to see you. I'll just pause over here.
Thanks a million.